Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile. In Path of Exile, Curse of the Allflame, we're introducing a new Scion Ascendancy, the Luminary. We've shared some details about the new Ascendancy in our recent content reveal, but in this deep dive, we're plunging in and showcasing some potential builds. The Mercenaries of Trathas are back, and it is now a core mechanic. Before we dive into looking at some specific builds using the Luminary made by our developers, we wanted to just clarify some of the mechanics of Mercenaries and how it pertains to this new class. Mercenaries cannot be hired permanently by default. However, the Luminary bypasses that and allows you to get your permanent hirelings. Once they are hired, you can customize their equipment or swap between up to 2 additional hired mercenaries at your fancy. That's right, you can hire up to 3 at any time, with 1 joining you as an active ally in combat and 2 in reserve in towns or hideouts. Perfect if you ever need to give your main merc a rest or want to swap them in and out for different kinds of content. Hired mercenaries can still die, so make sure you deck them out with good defensive items. If they do happen to meet their fate, just pay a gold fee to revive them, and they'll appear in the next area. If you are a Luminary looking for a great mercenary during the campaign, consider exploring areas like the Grand Arena in Act 4 or the Hidden Underbelly in Act 8. A mercenary will always appear in these areas, raring for a fight. Hired mercenaries will scale up their passive stats and skills to the level of the current area while you are in the campaign. Note, however, the level of items you can equip to your mercenary is still capped by the level of the area where you found that mercenary, so you will need to find higher level mercs eventually. We've also added warrants, a new type of item that causes a specific mercenary to appear in your map. That way, even if you can't find the specific merc you want, you can buy a warrant from another player, use it alongside a map, fight the merc, hopefully win, and hire them right there and then. Alright, that's enough about how the hired mercenaries work in general. Let's jump back to the Luminary passive tree and check out some of its epic skills. Starting with a defensive one. If you're feeling like you're not up for taking some hits, Loyal Bodyguard grants your mercenary the ability to soak up some of the damage you take, if they're healthier than you. If you're healthier than they are, they'll recoup life when damaged instead. Bestowed Knighthood combines taunting and increased aura effect for your mercenary. After all, teamwork makes the dream work. These passives allow you to specialize into equipping unique items on your mercenary. Every equipment slot is available to unlock except body armors. Sorry, Doriani's prototype enthusiasts. The legendary arms notable also causes them to deal heavy damage for each unique item they have equipped. Naturally, this opens up some very interesting build opportunities. Speaking of builds, let's check out a couple our developers have put together. The first build is one that has your mercenary be a support character for you. This build makes use of a mercenary's Rallying Cry skill. Rallying Cry provides damage to all allies based on the damage of the user's main hand weapon. By equipping our mercenary with this sword, you can see how you could get a massive boost to your damage when they Warcry. So, how do we maximize the benefit of all this extra damage? How about equipping the Facebreaker unique gloves, which massively boosts your unarmed damage? By allocating the passive to allow equipping a unique amulet, the mercenary can equip Strangle Grasp, an amulet that can be anointed with notable passives up to 3 times. These anointed notables allow access to stats that might not be readily available on equipment items, such as Warcry buff effect, which can boost the potency of their Rallying Cry. The uptime of the Rallying Cry buff is then further optimized by equipping cooldown reduction gear. Those aren't the only support effects our mercenary provides though. In addition, this mercenary also has a skill called Insight, which provides the player with a steady supply of frenzy charges. By allocating the passive to allow equipping a unique ring, the mercenary can equip Anathema. This will increase the mercenaries' curse limit, allowing them to debuff enemies. In this example, 2 extra curses are now being applied via a curse on hit glove corruption and this ring mod. Anathema also prevents the mercenaries' curses overriding our own Assassin's Mark. From this point, all you need to do is socket your favourite unarmed melee skill of choice, and it's going to be a real ruckus. Let's look at a second build now. That was a build that turned your mercenary into a support. Now one where you support your hirelings, turning you into a commander of a small adventuring party, with your animated guardian, hired mercenary, and your own character all working in tandem. In this particular setup, your animated guardian charges into packs, using Smite, while your mercenary dishes out damage from afar, using wand skills like Kinetic Blast. By allocating the passive to allow equipping a unique amulet, our mercenary can equip the Untouched Soul. This provides large amounts of elemental resistances per white socket on the mercenary's equipped gear. It's not like they were using those sockets for anything in the first place. We can then turn their fire resistance into damage by allocating the unique ring passive, allowing our mercenary to equip the Enmity's Embrace ring. This ring causes damage to penetrate fire resistance based on overcapped resistance, which our mercenary has a lot of. This combo is really encouraging our mercenary to want to deal fire damage. As a support character, it seems like a perfect use case for us to use Flame Link. Flame Link provides fire damage to link targets based on the caster's maximum life. This build stacks maximum life to simultaneously provide survivability to the player and increase the damage granted by Flame Link. Allocating the Oath of Fealty Ascendancy passive makes Link skills smooth as butter to use. Your Link skills now have infinite duration, whilst also having 50% less cost. Not to mention the added benefit of not dying if your linked mercenary also dies. We can push the power of our Flame Link to the extreme by allocating the Golden Glory Ascendancy passive. Increases and reductions to light radius will also apply to the effect of your link skills on your mercenary. This is a perfect combination with the Hallowed Monarch unique helmet, which not only has a large amount of light radius, but also allows us to link to our animated guardian as well, turning them into a second juggernaut alongside our merc. An added benefit of all this light radius is it is great for exploring the dark depths of the ocean in Voyages. Overall, the Luminary provides the most unique type of gameplay offered by any Path of Exile Ascendancy, with innumerate possibilities for builds. Assemble your mercenary faction and more when Path of Exile Curse of the Oriflamme launches this week on July 24th. We're super excited to see all the crazy builds you come up with using the Luminary. Thanks, and see you at launch.